Well, good afternoon, everybody. Apologies that it's been a while since I did a few videos. Not through any sort of wanting to back away from the case. Far from it. I have been busy reading David Rudolph's latest book, which is excellent, American Injustice. Thoroughly recommend that if you get the chance, and I will include the link to Sharon Sunshine's latest offerings, and please do check them out. She wrote to me a couple of days back asking me to share her latest. However, this morning I woke up to find that Dean and Jerry, Dean Strang, Jerry Buting, have written to Governor Tony Evers on behalf of Brendan. We'll have a look through it, read through it, and consider some of the things that are mentioned in the letter. One of the things I find interesting is that people try to criticize Dean and Jerry for speaking out now that they're famous on Making a Murderer, and suggesting, well, what were you doing before then? It's obvious that, you know, Making a Murderer has given Dean and Jerry the platform they need to speak out, as it has done, you know, to a large extent for Laura and Steve, and obviously Kathleen Zellner's second series, mainly covering her efforts to show quite clearly that the whole case against Steve and Brendan fabricated. Anyway, let's just crack on with this. With this letter. It's actually dated March the 2nd, 2022. So it's been a while. What we know, the 25th. If you can hear noise in the background, that would explain the other reason why I've been somewhat preoccupied. Jockey is lying patiently at my feet, whereas the little Luna is chewing on half a coconut shell. Anyway, let's crack on. So this, although the letter has been sent from Dean Strang, because he was the lead lawyer, I suppose, but Jerry has also added his name to it. Anyway, March 2nd, 2022, on to the Honorable Tony Evers, Governor, Wisconsin State Capital, Madison, Wisconsin, regarding clemency, commutations, and Brendan Dassey. Dear Governor Evers, Brendan Dassey has spent half his life in prison for a crime he did not commit. This past Sunday marked 16 years since the first manipulative interrogation of that 15-year-old boy. Today is the 16th anniversary of his wrongful arrest. We ask you to exercise the power that only you have to free him. We ask you to do it now. Together, we represented Brendan's uncle at trial. We never have represented Brendan Dassey. In that narrow sense, we have nothing at stake. In a broader sense, though, we have everything at stake. So do you and the citizens you serve. So do you and the citizens you serve. We appeal then to clarity, conscience, and courage. Start with clarity. Brendan Dassey's conviction and life sentence rests on two things. One is a false confession. The second is a bleach stain on a teenager's blue jeans. As to the first, Brendan's statement resulted from trickery by seasoned police officers. The trickery and deceit used against a 15-year-old with special needs and no experience with the police is not argument or speculation. Every minute of it is on videotape. His fragmentary narrative and adoptions of the interrogator's statements were proven inaccurate almost 15 years ago in many details and incredible in others. As to the second, that's it. The total corroboration of Brendan's involvement in any crime before, during, or after was an unexplained small bleach stain on the leg of a boy's blue jeans. Obviously, many young people have bleached stain jeans, whether the stains are intentional or not. The courts have failed Brendan repeatedly and at every level. When a federal judge finally did what the Wisconsin courts were too intellectually dishonest to do, acknowledging that Brendan's bogus confession was obtained unlawfully, he was overruled by the slimmest majority, hiding disingenuously behind a bad statute. The federal courts of appeals ruled by one vote, 4-3, that although the Wisconsin courts may have been wrong, they were not so clearly wrong that no reasonable judge could have agreed with them. In other words, be Brendan ever so innocent, defrauded of his federal constitutional rights and wrongly convicted, a federal court did not fix it. Then the US Supreme Court declined to hear his case, as the Wisconsin Supreme Court had earlier. The failure of the courts was complete. That leaves executive clemency, which exists to correct injustice when courts won't or can't. This is why we write to you today about Brendan, not about our former client, Steven Avery. We think he too was wrongfully convicted and should be free. Others disagree. But either way, Steven still has judicial remedies. By contrast, Brendan's case now is yours. You can duck and shift responsibility, as the courts have in the end, or instead you can fulfill your oath and office. I wonder if he remembers that. His oath. As governor of Wisconsin, you alone have the constitutional power of clemency. No one else can exercise it. You rightly have granted pardons to deserving people who long ago finished their sentences. So you know that. Important as they are to former offenders long since released, though, pardons do nothing to address mass incarceration. Should we start that again? Luna, come on. We'll do that once more. As governor of Wisconsin, you alone have the constitutional power of clemency. No one else can exercise it. You rightly have granted pardons to deserving people who long ago finished their sentences. So you know that. Important as they are to former offenders, long since released, though, pardons do nothing to address mass incarceration. Commutations can. Yet you have refused in your first 3 years as governor even to consider exercising this mildest power, to commute or cut short a sentence. Jock! Well, that's a daughter back anyway. By refusing to consider commutation, you have neglected thousands of Wisconsin prisoners with unfair convictions. Many were exemplary rehabilitation, some can show that, or sentences simply too harsh. Many, maybe most, are. In all, by abdicating a constitutional power of your office, you fail a duty to the people you serve. Wisconsin deserves a governor who fulfills the entire role the state constitution assigns that office, not just the parts that require less clarity, conscience, and courage. It's time to act as governor, not as part of one. It's time to act as governor, not as part of one. We ask that you make your first commutation Brendan Dassey. Send him home, where he has belonged since 2006. Then, following that, by using the power of clemency that you alone can use. Use it not just to pardon people freed years earlier. To your credit, you are doing that, but use it also to cut the sentences of deserving others. In short, act to reduce our staggeringly overgrown prison population, starting but not ending with Brendan. By constitutional design, you can be a governor of grace, not of cruelty or cowardice. We urge you now to be exactly that. Brendan Dassey, many others in prison, and the citizens of Wisconsin will benefit from that grace. There is nobody else to whom the people of this state can turn for clemency. A governor who does not exercise the full clemency power of the office then is no full governor at all. That occupant of only part of the office is, in real sense, graceless. Sincerely, Dean Strang and Jerry Buting. So yeah, I find that very interesting. I don't know if Steve and Laura are what their opinions are of Dean and Jerry writing. I'm sure it's favourable. I can't see how Dean and Jerry writing to Governor Evers can affect their position. Only strengthen it, I would have thought. Anyway, as always, if you want to leave comments, by all means do so. As I say, I'll leave the link to Sharon Sunshine, Indie Sunshine's latest offering. And also I look forward, hopefully, to catching up with Pete Dassey, the Moose, fairly soon. Got one or two other articles that I have seen that not specifically making a murderer, but other articles that I will endeavour to share. I noticed the other night, Mark, at the Hod, having a chat with Larry Farwell, which was interesting, considering that Steve had done a list of everybody that he wants to undergo a brain fingerprinting test. I'm not sure if he's really right to add Dean and Jerry to that list, or close family members. And as I suggested, I would add to that list, if provided they're still alive, Dennis Vogel, Tom Kasurak, and in particular Robert and Todd Herman, and not just ask them about Steve Avery, but also about Ricky Hochstetler. Anyway, I think that will do fine for now, and I'll say cheerio, and we'll catch you all again soon. As I say, maybe we can catch up with the Moose fairly soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.